sir.
All right, so we're on another episode of Chevy's Corner. I have here my honor to my left, the honor and privilege of having Ryan Sester, 102 national champion and Pan American team member and world team member, and his coach from Heroic Barbell Club.
Yeah.
Joe.
Thank you, sir.
Guys, these guys came through for our max out session, and you put up pretty decent total tonight. What'd you hit?
Did 160, 185. Took 2 shots at 200, and didn't have the jerk today. I missed time the first one, and the second one kind of dumpster fired. But it's just one of those days where you still just man up, take the weight, and you need the attempts for your brain, to overcome that weight. So
Yeah.
Didn't really take a break this week to lead up for a heavy training day, but it's good to know where things are at.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys got about 3, maybe 4 weeks before Pan Ams,
Yep.
and then how many weeks after that is Worlds?
6 more after that.
6 more weeks.
Yeah.
So
I think that's like the latter part of Tashkent's like.
So 3 and 6. Okay.
Yeah.
First time making an international team. How you feel about that?
I feel incredible. I'm honored to go do what I need to do to get medals. Yeah.
Joe?
I keep saying it still feels a little dreamy. Like,
Yeah.
oh wait, we're going to the World Championships, Uzbekistan.
Yeah.
Like, never thought I would be in Uzbekistan or any of those stands.
Yeah.
So.
How long you been coaching for?
It's like 8-ish years now.
Yeah. When you established Heroic Barbell Club as your, when you started weightlifting or coaching, or was it like a process? Like you were coaching for a certain amount of time and then you created your barbell club?
I started with a club called Vulcan Weightlifting in Oregon, and then they sort of moved out of the location that I was working at, so I was left without a club, and then started Heroic probably about 2 or 3 years after I started in the sport.
Okay. So how long has the Heroic Barbell Club been a thing?
I'd say about 5 now.
5 years? Okay. How'd you find this guy?
Back when I remember meeting Ryan the first time back when we were putting on meets at Vulcan, and he showed up at one of our meets without a coach, and I was running the Marshall table, and he's like, when do I go? I don't know, bro. You have to find a coach. And then he had some success after that on his own with his previous team or his previous CrossFit gym. And then it was like one day at a meet in Eugene last year, he showed up, and I was like, hey, did you come? I told his other longtime coach, Steve, that Steve should do a meet because Steve was, I don't know, what was he cleaning, like 315?
Yeah, he's a tank.
Yeah. I said, you should do a meet. You'll be the Masters World Champion. But this dude didn't care, and then I saw Ryan snatch 315, and
in CrossFit you have like the 3 blues and you have the 4 blues. So like, I hadn't got there on the clean and jerk yet, but on the 3 blues in CrossFit it's 315, so 143.
Yeah.
And on the snatch, and then I got to 170 on my own on clean and jerk.
Yeah.
So I remember commenting on that post that, like, dude, you should do a weightlifting meet. And he showed up. I was like, are you here because of me? He's like, no, well, kind of. I was like, who's helping you? And he's like, no one. I'm like, I got you, bro. And then he had a decent meet that weight. I think he went 137, 160.
I went 137, 165 or 166 or something.
Just missed senior nationals, made AO finals, and then I reached out to him, 3 weeks later and recruited him to the team.
It's kind of a match that was ultimately lined up for a while. It's just like, it was a match made in heaven because I was doing CrossFit, and I had great weightlifting direction to start that, and then I kind of just did my own thing and just didn't know what I was doing for a while. Just kind of training and trying to stay fit but also be strong, and finally just got to put it all in one pool. You're either gonna do weightlifting or you're gonna do CrossFit. And I was like, let's do this meet. Let's get on board. Let's see what we can do with Joe. And I think in just a year we put on it was about 17 kilos on my snatch and about 25 kilos on my clean and jerk, and now we're pushing more.
Yeah.
So
you guys been working together for about a year and a half ish?
Yeah, about a year.
Maybe more?
yeah,
A little
just
less.
pushing
Little
probably like a year and 3 months, 4
Yeah.
months. Yeah.
Wow. Incredible. So do you want to share kind of like how the program is for Ryan, and like how you went into like, all right, we're going to do now a weightlifting focus training over the past year and a half? Like what was your first approach? Did you do like an accumulation cycle and then, or combined with like some bodybuilding, general fitness, or were you like, all right, this guy's
did a
pretty
little bit.
strong already, let's just start
Yeah.
snatching and clean and jerking and refining his technique?
That's a good
What was
question.
your approach?
That was a good question. When we started, I remember him telling me that, I believe it was like, oh, I can squat 500 pounds any old day. And if you weren't clean and jerking 400, I was like, well, great. We'll just focus on getting your snatch and your clean and jerk better.
Yeah.
So we did spend, I don't know, probably the first 2 or 3 months of just, pretty heavily focused on positional stuff and improving some of his start position and improving the kind of transition through the middle, tightening up those positions. But then as his technique started to get better, we needed to continue to increase his strength. So yeah, it's a pretty traditional, 3-month phase, 12-week phase of hypertrophy and complexes to improve positions, positional doubles, and less volume in the squats, and then finally like super low intensity, or super low volume and super high intensity
As you're approaching the meets?
as approaching the meets. Yeah.
No.
And then, it gets confounding and more difficult as you have to peak for multiple big events in a short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Be interesting. Just have to be mentally prepared for it, and I think we are.
Yep.
Yeah. I think we did a lot more squats earlier on. We did a lot of 8s.
Okay.
8s, 6s, 5s, triples, and then doubles and singles,
Yeah.
kind of closer to when you're ramping your volume down, or taking your volume down, ramping your intensity up. But now we're kind of just more focused on some of the other like technical aspects, because the squat doesn't really need to keep going a ton more. I mean, we'll keep squatting a lot, but and I want to squat 300 kilos at some point. But
I saw you recently hit 600
600
pounds,
yeah,
272. That's a fat squat.
it was.
Pretty.
I went Instagram live after a session, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna squat today.
Yeah.
And I did triple at 250, double at 260, and single at 272, and had a bunch of people on Instagram live, and I was just having a good time.
Yeah.
It's just fun,
It's always fun to squat all the weights.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
the weights.
Gotta use your lunch for something.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna ask, how's your nutrition right now? I mean, how's your body weight? Are you sitting around 103, 104? I know you're qualified as a 102 for
Yeah.
Pan Ams and Worlds. So are you planning on moving up to the 109 class and try to shoot for this, Olympics, or are you just gonna try and make as many teams on the 102 as possible and then gradually move up? It's a multi-layered question, but they all go on together,
So my morning weight right now is 103, which I feel really good at because we still got a couple weeks, and I can drop really easy because I'm maintaining a certain amount of water intake right now.
Mm-hmm.
So dropping my water is going to at least take off a kilo and a half pretty fast. So I kind of do a water cut closer. I'm doing macros for my nutrition, so I've got a nutrition coach, Haley, and we obviously do weekly check-ins, see where the weight's at in the morning, see how my fiber is in the diet, because if you're not having enough fiber, you're not passing enough, so you don't have accurate weight in the morning.
Mm.
If you don't take your morning dump, then you're not gonna be right on the scale. So checking all those boxes, that makes sure your energy is good for training at the end of the day. I train usually around 4 to 5 p.m. So making sure that I have that energy going into the session. I have intra-workout carbs, and I have good post-workout meal. So I get those carbs, get the recovery started, get the protein. If you don't get enough protein, you're not going to be recovering your muscles. If you don't get enough carbs, you're not going to have enough energy. And then for weight classes, I am just kind of waiting to see what happens in December. You know, I'll go whatever direction I need to go. But I definitely, if I was going to go up, I'd really have to do a lot of strength training just to fill out a 109. And I mean, I've floated down to an 98 before, pretty easily. And you know, if that's what it needs to be, then I'll drop to a 96 too. So I'm kind of right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had the meets this year. I've weighed in at 99 to 100, 101. So just kind of, you know, we'll just see what needs to happen once they change the weight classes and there's a 100 class. I'm taking that home. Yeah. That's going to be biscuits and gravy. So we'll see.
Yeah. Does your nutritionist work directly with your meal prep provider? Because I know that you're working now with the meal prep kind of service, and they've been like sending you stuff.
My Fit Foods in Portland, Denver, and Texas. If you're there, check them out.
Yeah, and
awesome company.
Yeah, if they want to sponsor me too. You know. Hey.
They're a great company. They have the macros on the back of the container. You order on, you know, whenever you want during the week. They drop it off at your house. You can pre-plan it in the, you know, the apps on your phone like MyFitnessPal, or there's some other macro apps. You can plan your whole day out, when you're going to eat, what the macros are, how many you need to fill to accomplish that number. That way you're getting the exact calories and exact macros. It makes it really easy to track your macros. And she doesn't work directly with them, but she lets me know where I need to be, and those meals I'll have that. So I just add it up, and then I need to make, you know, say it's 7:30 p.m. and I've got to make up like 30 carbs and 10 fat and like 20 protein. I'll get a bowl of Cheerios out, pour a scoop of protein, pour 3/4 of a cup of milk, and I hit it. You know, it's like, once you do it for a while, it just works. You know, some people go to high extensive weighing every single thing. As long as you can get really close and you're not like, you know, if you have to get closer, that's fine. But kind of doing it really, trying to just get as close as you can with, like, you know, just scanning stuff. It will give you facts on, you know, nutrition, like a bar or something when you're out on the road. Like, go to the gas station, MyFitnessPal, you just scan a bar and it just pops up the macros, so you can stay on track. But that's helped significantly with the energy all day.
Anything else changed since last time, you know, you came over, about like 3-4 months ago? You know, obviously you competed at nationals, you hit the fat total we talked about, you made the international team like you said you were going to do. So, you know, is there anything changing now with your mindset, or, you know, besides now being more in tune with, right, like being more focused, because clearly that's going to have to happen as you're getting closer to a competition. Now you're more focused, you're more dialed in on your nutrition. What do you think has changed besides that?
As soon as I got done with nationals, I was excited and very motivated to get back into training. Even though I didn't qualify initially, I did not hit the minimum requirement that they had set at that time. They reset it about a month later, or a month and a week later, like 5 weeks later. And then I got the invitations. But I was like 2 weeks after nationals, I was right back. I was doing lots and lots of volume. I was jumping back into twice the volume I was doing before, probably. And it was great. It was going great, I think. And I had a little bit of a slight back, kind of pulled something. And so we just had to adjust training for a little bit and kind of work back into position, let it heal. And, you know, that's important as a coach and athlete, you know, identifying what the problem is, working around it so we can still maintain progression, but also not keep damaging an injury.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, you have a broken athlete and the coach isn't happy, the things are not happening. And so you have to have that conversation. You have to align programming to fit that. And so we did that, and, you know, it's not an easy process because you want to be pulling heavy weight, but we worked back up to it, and this is the first time hitting 60 in a couple weeks, or probably more than that, but, you know, just getting back into it. This is where we have to turn on the heat. So it's feeling a lot better now than it has been. So
a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
What are the expectations for Pan Ams and for Worlds in terms of numbers? Right, it's always a numbers game, and
yeah, 6,200 plus at Pan Ams, and it's going to be a Worlds. We'll see.
We'll do what we need to do when the time comes.
It's going to be an interesting process getting someone ready for 2 huge meets like that in such a short time.
Yeah.
But
I think doing like a back off week and then doing some like 70% work for a week and then seeing how that feels, and then they'll kind of adjust accordingly for the last 3 or 4 weeks that we've got after that.
I tend to pick the weights that for all my athletes. I got probably 20-ish lifters on the team, so I program each of them individually, not necessarily by percentages, but by what I think they're going to be able to hit and not to have tons of misses on, or any misses really. So with Ryan, we have a discussion every Saturday or every Sunday before I write the program for him. Say these are our goals for the week. These are the numbers we want to see, and that same conversation of like, I think we should do this. I think we should do this. Well, let's kind of try to find this place of meet in the middle of, I want you not to get broken. I want to train real hard. Find that idea of where
Equilibrium,
where it meets, so that, because I've said to him before, and when we showed up at nationals, you're not injured, you're in the best shape of your life, you're hitting these numbers. The hard part of my job is done. Now you got to go and execute on stage.
Yeah.
With getting lifters to those big meets, being able to ramp that intensity up and the volume down without breaking, that's the magic in it, I think, in programming.
Yeah. Good stuff. Anything you guys want to share, or like let people know where to find you on social media?
Sure. Just Ryan_Sester on Instagram, and
Heroic Barbell Club on Instagram, and if you want to look at some pictures of cats and food and mediocre weightlifting, you can follow my personal page, Metaphysical Fitness.
PDX.
Where's your gym located?
We are located in Portland, Oregon. I don't actually have a brick and mortar location, so we have a couple different garage gyms we train at, a couple different facilities. Ryan has a nice setup in his garage. I have a nice setup in mine. 2 of my lifters have a really nice 2-car garage with 2 platforms in it, and a couple hundred pounds of kilos, not 1,000.
Yeah.
So, a couple full sets, nice bars. Got a GoFundMe page on my Instagram account to help fund me to get to
Worlds and
with
Pan
him.
Ams. Yeah.
He's a fully funded athlete, and personal coaches are not. So, if you feel like dropping a couple bucks to help me get there, that'd be swell.
Yeah.
Of course. Well,
Link
thank
in
you guys.
bio.
Yeah, link in bio.
Yeah.
Make sure to drop by his Instagram, and any donation helps to get Joe here to help out Ryan at the meet. Obviously, there's a good connection there, there's a relationship, and if you can make it, that would be awesome.
It's happening regardless.
It's happening regardless, so
Maybe my wife will be less upset if the bank account's not
Totally.
empty quite as much.
yeah.
Thanks for having us on, Chevy.
Hey, thank you guys for coming through. Thanks for coming. Hopefully you guys will be able to come through before Worlds or before Pan Ams again, and
Probably
love to have you guys again. It would be awesome.
Yeah, it's good. It's always a good time. Always a good time.
Awesome. Well, thank you for dropping in. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends.
Drop a like.
And
Don't forget to hit that notification button.
notification buttons for sure. And thank you for joining another episode of Chevy's Corner. Now I go over there and I try to stop. And then
Did you figure out where we're eating?